Namaste everyone. Uh, we have today a special guest with us, which is Dr. Surekha. She is a Sanskrit professor in one of the colleges in Bangalore as well. She takes quite a few talks for on various subjects as well. She's been reading up quite a bit. I mean, in terms of our scriptures, like even Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata. I mean, not like the storybooks that we read, but rather the actual Mahakavyas itself, which was written by say Valmiki or the Bhashyas that have been written by various gurus and all that. And she gives a lot of talks on those things. So I'm luckily she is my cousin, and I was in a way, I always find opportunities to kind of talk her. Whenever we meet up, it's very interesting conversations that we have, right? So last time when I met her, when I went to Bangalore, well, she said she's coming to Bangalore, and I thought we should make use of that opportunity. So it was a very short span of time. I said, you pick any topic, just give us a talk. So that's how this idea came into being as well. So yeah, I mean, as far as this particular talk is concerned, I think it went in an ad hoc way. So we did not have much of a preparation, but I thought we should have that talk nonetheless. So we'll record it anyway, so any interested person can listen to it later on as well, right? So yeah, I mean, as far as her qualifications are concerned, of course, she's done a doctorate as well on Sanskrit literature. So rest be assured that she's going to give us a good session on that part, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that having a doctorate is necessary to be able to talk well. That's a different thing altogether. But yes, I mean, it shows the commitment of the person and the dedication of the person towards the subject, right? I mean, it is no mean task to do a doctorate. Yeah. So so here we are with Dr. Surekha, and she's going to talk about the Taittiriya Upanishads. Upanishads is something that I think even Surekha has been very passionate about, and she's been reading up on all the Upanishads as well. So she said, I mean, since we have been talking mostly about TTC, the program that we do over here, she thought it was apt to pick on the topic of Shikshavalli, which basically, kind of gives an introduction about what a person should do, after his studies. I think that was the conversation that the guru has with his disciple. So I think, let me not take more time on that. Rather, I'll allow the subject matter expert to, kind of talk about it. So I'll hand it over to Surekha, and thanking her for coming here and taking up our request to, host the session to begin with. Thank you. Yes, so please.
Thank you. Actually, it's my pleasure to be here. And I just start with prayer. Shri Guru Pyo Sahana Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunatu Sahaviryam Karavai Devasvinamani Namaskumar Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good evening to all. Namaskar. Today I'd like to tell something about the Upanishads. And for that, I'd like to just elaborate something about the same shloka which we have recited now. So here the shloka. So it is very interesting. Actually, whenever there is a discussion, like whenever there is a discourse or the discussions when the teacher and the students are together, to begin with, they start with this invocation, and which means that, so if you are very familiar with the word, the Sanskrita language, so then here we can see that it is among the two, like the teacher and the student. In fact, in those days, this education, the system of education was not for a mass. It is either to an individual or to a small group. Like when you go for the Upanishads, you can see that it is like for a one-to-one it is, you can see the example of Rama and Nachiketa in Kathopanishad. He was just a student, one student there, and he was 8 years old. So there's no restriction regarding the age. According to the intellectual development, the education will be given. It can be either to few students or to one also, but not too many. But here it is about the two, that is the teacher and a student. One-to-one it is. Sahana Vavati. Om. Om is the one which gives us the which reminds us about Paramatma. So he can be anyone, he or it or she, whatever it is. That is according to us. We have Ishta Devata, everyone. So we can remember that Ishta Devata there. So Om Saha Now Avatu it is in fact. Now means we too. So let that God protect both of us. In fact, the word Om also from the root word Av, Avatu, Av.
Online going.
Sahanam Bhunaktu. So this is like whatever we are going to say. Bhunaktu is to receive or to gain. So now whenever we are teaching or learning something, both the teacher and the student will be gaining something. So we are supposed to, we both will gain properly. Let both of us will gain the things. Sahaviryam karavahavahai. So which means that we should be excellent in our studies or whatever the knowledge which we are gaining. And Sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu. Now, tejasvi now adhitamastu. So let both of us be brilliant because of the studies which we have done. And finally, Mavit Vishavahai. This is very important. Usually what happens is like in the modern days, we can see that once you go to the graduation, after that, for the post-graduations or in the PhDs or post-doctoral, whatever it is. So there is complication with the guide and the students, the teacher and the students. But that should not be the case. There should not be enmity. One should not hate others. In the sense, especially, let both of us will not have any enmity. This is quite common nowadays. We hardly find good teachers, like when we go for the higher studies. But so this Upanishad says, because they knew all these things which are possible in the field. And so in the beginning itself, we can see this is the beginning of the education. And today I'm going to deal with the last stage of the education also. So we can just compare it, like how they were in the beginning. And the same thing is carried towards till the end. So this can be seen, observed very carefully here. So let there not be any such complications between us. Let us be friendly, a teacher and a student. So that intimacy, the friendship should continue throughout. So that is what is highlighted there. And finally, so it is Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this Om, there are three Shantis here. So Shanti especially means let us be free from. Let us not have any problems. Let us not have any tensions or the worries. Regarding what? So there are three aspects, in fact. Actually, whatever the problems we come across in this world can be categorized into three categories. That is Adhyatmika, Adidaivika, and Adhibhautika. So if you can see about the Adidaivika, it is something, Div is Akash, the space you can say. So whatever happens, the natural calamities, it's because of the variations in the space. So maybe the cyclones, whatever it is. So see, this is beyond our control. So we are praying God, let us not come across such problems in our life. So prayers it creates wonders. So then the next one is Adibhautika. Adibhautika is sometimes we create problems to ourselves in the existing world because of the things or the persons around us, because of our own behaviors. So it happens. So let us be away from such problems. And finally is Adhyatmika. Atma is the soul. So we don't know like how this soul has come to this world in this body. So there are various reasons. We all speak about the karma bandhas, all those things. So it is carried throughout. And we are praying. We don't know, like we have taken birth in a particular family. We have so many relationships. So, but we don't know whether, we are not sure whether it is favorable to me or not. Sometimes it is the adverse. So, but still, we are praying God, let us not have such problems in our life. Anyway, it's a prayer. And it is very important for anyone's life because we are in the yoga class. In the yoga, we are trying to connect ourselves with the soul. The body should be connected to the soul. It's a BMI concept, body, mind, and intellect. So for that, so this mental stability is also needed, and we are praying God for the same. So this is the initial invoking prayers. Actually, now I'm going to speak about the Upanishads. In fact, this prayer is in the Taittiriya Upanishad itself, the one which I have mentioned now. So in the case of Upanishad, so the word, the very meaning of the word Upanishad, it's because of the three words. There are different interpretations, but I'm going to just tell some of the very basic things. It's like Upa, Ni, and Sat. These are the three words, where Upa is very close. So this closeness between the student and the teacher, it need not be only the physical closeness. It should be mental also, in the sense the intellectual growth, which is to be considered. A teacher cannot give his discourses or his teachings to all, because their level will be different. Maybe the age may be the same, but the maturity of a person depends on the previous karmas, the lives together, the maturity of the Atma. Since we are believing it, and I do believe in that, hope you all do the same. And it should be, it depends on that maturity. So, Upa is Samipa, Ni is, it's again like the teacher is sitting, but the Ni stands for bit below. The student should be in a bit, not very lower stage, because the teacher is in the upper stage there, and Upa, Ni, and Sat is to be sitting there. There are different interpretations also, but I feel this is more convincing. Okay, and the teacher is going to give whatever the knowledge he has to the student. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, so now actually I'm going to deal with the 11th chapter of the Shikshavalli. Okay, but I'm not going to take the first few chapters, because my real intention here is, see now this particular Shikshavalli, Shiksha, Kshaya, that is to teach. So that will be perfect. From that we have the word Shikshanam. We have even Shikshe. Shikshe is punishment. And the punishment is because they have to gain knowledge. With punishment, they'll gain better. So that is the meaning actually. So this is the process of learning. Vanli is Balli or the creeper. That means it is one after the other. So now here there are 12 Anuvakas, the sub-chapters there. But in the first 10 chapters, they've all dealt with all the different shastras. It's a shastra, the shastra which is to be learned. So actually today my intention is to just teach this 11th Anuvaka, where it is after the completion of the education. So what is to be done? Like we have the convocation address, but we feel that it is the very recent approach, maybe. But thousands of, we believe the Shikshavalli or the Taittiriya Upanishad to be of the 3000 BC. So since so many years, it was going on. Like now, anyway, we know, so the system has been changed. The system is responsible for the same. But anyway, we can change it, because we can't just blame the system always. We have to make some our own efforts to understand it in a better way. Anyway, so this particular Shishyopadesha, which we are going to deal today, is the convocation address. In those days, the students should be sent to the Gurukula at the age of 8, like after the Upanayana Samskara. And that Upanayana, once again, it is Nayati is to take the student near the teacher. And this another meaning there, Nayana is the eye. So you are opening your intellectual eyes through the samskara. This is the samskara. Samskara is something which you are going to give to your soul, by which you will be in a very better position. So the way you think, the way you understand the matters, everything will change. So this is like opening the intellectual eyes. So now this Upanayana will be done and the student will be taken to the teacher, because it so happens that at home, now the children are 1 or 2, but then the children will be more, it may be difficult for the parents to be very ideal, because the students always follow the parents. So it's better to send the students to the teacher who is ideal enough so that the student will follow him. His approach will be that. That's why the students will be sent to the teacher. The teacher will take care of the students. And then the student will first learn according to their Varnas. So actually we have a very beautiful system of this Varna and Ashramas. You all know that, I think. So this Varna system is for the well-being of the whole society, whereas Ashrama is for the intellectual growth of a person. So the first one is Brahmacharya. Brahmani charati iti Brahmacharya. So the Brahma is the ultimate truth. And we call that as God. Charati sanchara. That you just roam around. In the sense, you just concentrate on studies. So, like if you can take the entire lifespan of a person and you can divide it into 4. And in the first quarter, it is the Brahmacharya Ashrama, where you are supposed to concentrate totally on studies. So, your responsibilities are very less, but you will be very much disciplined. Discipline is very shistu, and that is very important there. So, you are going to the Brahmacharya Ashrama, and there we are supposed to study one Veda takes 12 years to learn. And it's not only Veda, along with the Veda, we are supposed to learn the Vedangas. And these Vedangas are the organs. There are 6, like Shiksha, Vyakarana, Chanda, Nirukta, Jyotisha, and Kalpa. So with the help of this, when you study the Vedas, only then you can understand the correct meaning of the Vedas. Just reciting, it works, but we'll be safe with the knowledge which we have. But if you want to understand it better, you have to learn the Vedas. But there is one more statement, Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samupabhrahmayet. Unless we know the examples through the histories, that is the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas, you cannot understand the Vedas. So Vedas, the last part is the Upanishads. Okay, so this is how a student will learn for 12 years in the Gurukula. And see, after 12 years, so the examination will not be conducted like how it is conducted to all in the case which we are in. So then it is totally different. But once the teacher is convinced with the performance of the disciple, so he will give a holy bath to that student. And he becomes a Snataka. In fact, we are using the same word in our graduation also. So Snataka, the graduate, Snatakottara is the postgraduate. And this, he becomes a Snataka, the graduate. Even now the graduation will be the convocation, no? So here is the convocation address for the same graduated students. See, this is how, one more thing I would like to tell here. So the Gurukula system is such a wonderful system where the student is not going to make any payment of his fees in the beginning. Okay? But how the Gurukula will run? It will run with the help of the financial aid given by the old students. Because the students will give it because they are committed. Because in the beginning, they have not made any payment of the fees. So they know that I am learning from the society because of the aid from the society. So I have to give it back to the society. So such a healthy mentality. We have a very good poem like in Purandara Dasa's, we study in the beginning in the music. It's a wonderful example for the same concept. Whatever we have gained from the society should be given back. It can be money or the knowledge or the service, whatever it is. So that will be planted in the minds of the students, and that is what is needed actually. Otherwise, I have paid, so I'm getting it back. That's it. I'm not committed to the society. So this attitude should not be there. So if that is the case, our intellectual growth will be it will not be what I feel. Anyway, now the teacher. After giving all the education, after giving that graduation degree to him, so now he is giving an address. So let me just I'm not going to tell in the form how it is to be recited, but I'll just tell the mantras there. Okay. So Vedam Anuchya Acharyo Antevasinam Anushasti. It's an Anushasana. It's an order. In fact, it's an order. You have to be like this. Okay, Shasana, we have the word Shasaka for MLAs, MPs and all, no? So they are passing the orders. Similarly, now the teacher, the guru, is giving this Anushasana to the disciples. And that is after completing the Vedic texts. Okay? And first thing he says, Satyam Vada. You should tell the truth. But the truth should be based on Drita. There is another word, Drita, which is the practical truth. So now the truth example, like sometimes, no, whatever I feel that it is true, I may say that. But it may hurt others also. And there may be some problems because of the truth which I'm going to tell. Sometimes what I feel to be a truth need not be the truth always. For example, the sun rises in the east, the sun sets in the west. But it is not the truth. But we teach the same thing to the students. But you should think properly before you are telling the truth. So now in the case of Yudhishthira, we feel that so Yudhishthira is a Satyasandha. That's why his chariot was a bit above the ground level. But when he said, hope you all know that, Hashwattama Hataha, then he just added Kunjara. So then it's like a lie. But actually, if he would have not told Kunjara there, he would be safe. Because he was told by Krishna to tell this. And he should trust his God, which he didn't. That's why he came across that problem. But one more thing is there, like when he was in the, when they were on exile, that is in the Vanavasa. At the end of Vanavasa, they were supposed to go to, to be in incognito, Ajnatavasa. At that time, the same Yudhishthira, he just went and told the rishis who were along with them, whoever comes and asks for us, you just tell them you don't know where we are. But that is a lie. But that is a Vrita. That cannot be considered as lie. So that cannot be considered lie because that was needed at that proper time. For example, like now they say that sometimes people are very curious to know about the gender of the fetus. But the doctor is not supposed to tell that. Isn't it? So then even if the doctor says that, no, I don't know. In fact, he knows it. But that cannot be considered as a lie. So that is Satya. And this Dharmam Chara, the next one. Dharma, what is Dharma? So there are various interpretations of the word. But to be very simple, we can say that it is nothing but the professional and the personal principles in our life. We'll be having some principles in our life. And I should follow those principles. Professionally, I should be something. And I'm committed to the society. When it comes to the society, I should just forgo some of the personal things also there. So this is the dharma is the principles which I apply in my life according to my profession and my personal life. So this is dharma. And then we have Swadhyayatma Pramadaha. This is very important. Swa-adhyayana. See, the teacher has taught us so many things. But we are supposed to continue with our own studies. We are not supposed to stop there. Just imagine if you would have stopped. It's going on, in fact. If you would have stopped, there would not be any chances of further investigations or inventions or discoveries. Everything would have stopped there. This Swadhyaya is very important. It becomes our duty. Once the teacher teaches ABCD to us, we are not supposed to stop there. We should make use of our intelligence to study further. So that is Swadhyaya Ma Pramadaha. You're not supposed to deviate yourself from the process of self-studies. And the next one is Acharyaya Priyam Dhanam Akritya Prajatantu Mam Yavatsehi. Very important. Priyadhanam for the teacher. What is the Priyadhana to the teacher? What can be the best wealth to the teacher? Of course, I have already told in the beginning that the teacher will gain from the students after the education. It's their wish, students' wish. Whatever they want to give, they can give. So I think in some of the institutions, it's going on. In society institutions and all, it's going on. But here, one more thing is very important. It's not only the monetary help or the whatever to be given, but it is also the best wealth for the teacher is the student. Chhatra Sampat is the best sampat for a student. and that is to be given. How is it possible? You need to continue with your family life. So first 25 years is for your studies. And the next you are supposed to settle down in your life. And you will have more liberty in that grihastha. At the same time, you will have more responsibilities. You need to take over the responsibilities. You need to send your parents in the vanaprastha. Doesn't mean that you should send them to the forest or something like that. But creating a forest around us, in the sense, mentally. In the sense, you are not supposed to give any responsibilities to the parents. Take over the responsibilities. Till now, they were taking the responsibilities. Now, let them relax themselves. So that's how the vanaprastha. Let them do whatever they want. This is how they are supposed to be. So now, this family life, that is a grihastha, which is a very important organization in the society, in fact, because that is the one which is helping the other ashrams. Without grihastha, there cannot be any brahmacharya ashrama or sannyasa ashrama, because the grihastha is the one which feeds everyone. Very important. And that life, when you go, then you know the responsibilities, and you have the children, and you send the children to the Gurukula. Because this should continue. This process, the jnana, whatever the knowledge we've gained from our saints, that should continue further. And that's why you have to get married, because the sannyasashrama, actually from brahmacharya, this is how the system is: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasashrama. Rarely in some cases, directly they used to go from brahmacharya to sannyasa, skipping the two. But it is very rare. Not necessary, in fact. Only rare cases we can find such things. So you have to continue with the family life, and you have to get the children, and let this process, in fact, the population is also very important, because our India, look at the population now, but then it was not so much needed. It was because when you have such a good, the land, everything, all the natural resources, it should be used properly with the manpower. So it was also considered by this is 5,000 years back, believed to be. But then they had such a good plan. And then, satyat na pramaditavyam. Satyat na pramaditavyam. You should be truthful, because the truth has such a great power. So there are so many stories related to this truth also with the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and all. So it gives much energy. And when you are very truthful, so whatever you teach also will be understood properly. That is how it is. But the teachers and the preceptors, they are all in that same, they used to follow this truthfulness. So Satyat is telling the students that you should not deviate yourself from the path of truth. And dharmatna pramaditavyam. Yes, the principles which have accepted in our life, both professional as well as personal, we have to follow this. We should be according to our principles. Kushalatna pramaditavyam. It also says, like the Guru also says, that you need not be a sannyasi. You should not give up all the happiness in life. Be kushala, be happy, enjoy in your life. Because the grihastha, that is the place where you have to enjoy. So you be responsible and you can enjoy. So that is also needed. Kushalatna pramaditavyam. And bhutyayana pramaditavyam. Bhuti is Aishwarya, the sampat. You need to earn a lot. You can't say that I don't want money. You have to earn. You have to earn for various purposes. To your own self, to the society, for anything, any good works which you want to do. But without money, you can't do anything. So you have to earn something, earn a lot. And then at the same time, Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. Swadhyaya already told. Na pravachana, prakrishya vachana pravachana. Not simply talking. Talking with some reference or some support, everything, which is very helpful to everyone, one and all. So that is, when you have studied something, it's better you give that to others also. Because whatever we know, that's why we have this Guru Parampara. We have from the beginning, Vyasa. So this should continue. So if it has to continue, the guru should be open enough to give his knowledge to others. Nowadays, there are so many complications in that also. People are hiding their, yeah, it has its own problems. Yeah, sometimes it is needed maybe for their own purposes. But actually here they are saying that you have to give whatever the knowledge you have to, otherwise it will stop. So pravachana is a must when you have gained the knowledge. So whatever good things you have, it's not only about the scriptures, any techniques, anything, any knowledge which we have should be shared with others. And then Deva Pitra Karya Bhyamna Pramaditavya. Deva Pitra Karya. Deva Karya, see, we should remember, we are something today, but there are so many people without anything. And it's not, if I'm telling something today now, it's not just because of my own efforts. There is the grace of God, of our ancestors. So we are here in good position is because of so many other factors. And I should always remember it. And so I should always think about the Deva Karyas, my respect to the God. And then Pitra Karya, we know like how our parents have, when we are parents, we know how it is difficult to take care of our own children. So Pitru, the father, the parents, and also our forefathers, because of them. So if you can think around, like we are here today with this religion, practicing our religion, not so easy for people who were in 3 to 4 maybe generations back. So there are so many conversions going on, but our parents were strong enough to face all those, our grandparents or great-grandparents. And because of them, we are here today in this way. And we should always remember it. So we have to, when they are alive, we have to serve them. In their absence, we have to remember them. And we will always, the Pitra Karyas which we are doing, so that will just help them to proceed their soul in a better position. So Pitra Deva Pitra Karya Bhyam na Pramaditavyam. And then Matra Devo Bhava. Matra, the motherhood. Mother is also a woman, a human being. Father is also a human being. But we cannot see the God, but we have to see them as God. In the sense, they need. See, there is a difference between seeing mother as God and seeing God in mother. Okay? So, but whatever it is, that respect should be given. Okay, because why I'm telling this matter is we have seen so many, like sometimes mothers just they are just watching the children maybe, or even leaving their children somewhere. And so some things also we have seen. That's why I'm using the word motherhood. So usually it is common in all the mothers, but we are respecting that motherhood and the fatherhood there. So Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava. So we are very familiar with these words actually. I think you all know the meaning also. But so this is the source for it. Taittiriya Upanishad Shikshavalli is the source for all these statements. And then Acharya Devo Bhava, because he is the one. See, we are human beings because we are born in the parents. Okay, in our father and mother as a human being. But that humanity in us is sometimes because of the teacher. Our mothers may be the teachers, but what the other teacher says, that is more effective to us. The students will follow the teachers. So we have to consider them as the gurus, the deva, because they are giving the intellect to us. And the next one is Atiti Devo Bhava. So I think nowadays we don't have Atitis at all. The word Atiti is the one who does not mention when he or she is coming. What we, like right now, we are all Abhyagatas, Abhyagata. We are just expecting someone because they have called us and they have said that we are coming. But Atiti is something which is very strict. Like you don't have any intimation about when he or she is coming. All of a sudden he comes, but you should be able to treat them in the same way like how you treat an Abhyagata. See, now, there's a very good example given in Kathopanishad itself. Like, Nachiketa was just 8 years old. But when he went there, when Yama came to know Yama, He's Yama. He is the controller of the whole world. When he came to know that this Nachiketa was waiting for him for 3 days, he was very upset. Because that's not the way how the Atithi should be treated. So then we have this Kathopanishad because of that same concept. So this Atithi Devo Bhava, because of this, we have this entire Upanishad, Kathopanishad, where we came to know about the Brahmajnana through Nachiketa. Atithi Devo Bhava. Then it is Yani Anavadyani Karmani Tani Sevitavyani. The Guru says, you can do the karmas, but the karma should not be blamed by others. Do only those karmas which are not blamed by others. The rest you don't do it. Na itarani. You're not supposed to do it. And then, Yani asmakam sujaritani tani tvaya upasyani. See, after all, a guru is also a human being. Even he may have some negatives in him. Possible because of the karmas. But here the teacher says, the teacher is not having any superiority complex that the students should follow me in each and everything. Each and every step of mine. He says, whatever the good things you have found in me, only those you have to follow. Don't follow the negatives of mine. Because, like this, the students will be in the Gurukula. And the Guru has a family of his own. So there are chances that some of the things which may be negative even in the Guru and his family, but that should not be followed. Usually those people will not have such negatives at all. But the teacher is very humble enough to say that you follow only those which are good. Otherwise, don't say that my teacher does this, so I'm going to do this. No, you are not supposed to say that. Whatever it is, only follow the sucharitani, the good nature of mine. Harmful, yeah. Harmful to the society. Nothing. Yes. Then, Yeke chasma shreya gomso brahmana. See, the teacher here, in those days, the Gurukula system was such that nowadays we have the visiting professors and all in different universities. No? In the same way, those teachers who have completed their studies, they are like those who are retired professors and all, even they used to come to the Gurukulas, they used to give the talks and all. So that was happening in those days. So he says, it's not only me who is the teacher. There are so many other teachers. And you can refer them. You can just talk to them. You can ask any doubts you have. So clarify it. So he says, Cha asma shreya gunso brahmanaha tesham tvaya asanena prashvasitavyam. So if you can find any brahmanas, so the word brahmana, the one who is brahmajnani, the one who knows has the knowledge. So if you can find such people around you, you just respect them. Because see, this is to be considered very perfectly now, because we can, if you can see properly, if you are in the education institutions and all, you can find that professional jealousy and all. It's common, like especially in the institutions, in the education institutions, maybe in others also, everywhere it is. But the problem is when it is in the education institutions, it creates more problems to the students. Because even we have such experiences and all. So maybe the problems are quite common. But here the teacher says, no, you should not do that. So you just respect them, whoever it is. If he's a jnani, so jnane sarvesham adhikara. There is a right for everyone to gain the knowledge. And prajnanam brahma, that jnana, prakasha jnana itself is God. So you just respect those who are well versed in scriptures. And then, Shraddhaya Deyam. Okay, now you are supposed to, like when you have the knowledge, when you have the money, everything, you are supposed to give it to others. So that dana, the charity should be there. But how it should be, you should be dedicated to the same. Whatever you are giving to others, give it with Shraddha. And when you are giving, give it in the Shraddha, At the same time, you should know that there should not be a bit of ashuddha in it. Ashuddhaya adeyam. If you don't want, if you don't have shraddha in you, don't give it all. Don't think that others are in need of your money or in your knowledge. If you don't have shraddha, please don't give it. So shraddhaya adeyam. If you are giving, give it shraddha. Ashraddhaya adeyam. No, don't give it. And then when you're giving something to others, shriya deyam. Shriya is something which is good you should give. I don't want this, so I'm giving it to others. That should not be the case. Shriya, the one which you like, the one which you enjoy, give the same thing to others. It's not only the money or the things, I'm even speaking about the suggestions or even the knowledge, anything which helps others. Sometimes, no, it's not the money or anything which helps others. When a person is distressed, just who is very important. Just you give your ears, listen to their problems. That itself is a more counseling to them. It's a help. It's a charity game. So there should be shraddha in that who also. Who? Only that much. Okay. Shraddhaya adeyam, ashraddhaya adeyam, shriya adeyam, kriya adeyam. Shri is nachike. That is shyness. So you should feel that I am a great person, I'm giving something to you. No. So I should feel that, see, only this thing I can give it to you. You should have that, because even in Samskrita Vyakarana, we have a formula for this dana, sampradane chaturthi. So the receiver will be in a higher position. If there is no receiver, how can there be a donor? See, if there is no students, how can there be a teacher? So the receiver is important. So kriyadeyam, see, I should feel that I can give only this much to you. That should be the feeling. And bhiyadeyam, when I'm giving, I should be in such a way that whether I'm giving whatever I'm giving to you, will it be convincing to you or not? Will you be happy with it or not? So will you like this or not? See, that should be, when we are giving something to others in this mindset, so naturally the other person will be happy, because you are going to select the best one. Okay? Shriyadeyam, kriyadeyam, bhiyadeyam, samvidadeyam. When you are giving, you should feel that he is your friend. You should not feel that I'm a great person and so I'm giving, I'm a donor. That should not be the case. And you should know what exactly that person needs. Give that. You are not supposed to give an elephant to a beggar, saying that it's an elephant. You know the risk. See, now in the case of, it's a very beautiful, I always remember that in Ramayana, when Hanuman, he just went to our Lanka and he met Sita. And Sita, he gave that Chudamani. Shrita gave the Chudamani, but then Rama had given a ring. So this is a token, like identity card, whatever it is. Okay, he gave, like he is supposed to give. But giving, when you are giving, the hand should be here. You are giving something to him, and the word receiver will be in the, like down. Okay, so, but you know how Hanuman gave? He just gave it like this. He gave like this so that Sita's hand will be up above. So she should not feel something odd. So this is how. See, that is how the mental, like that's how our actions will be when we have, say, these things in our mind. Kriyadeyam, Hiyadeyam, Samvidadeyam. So these are all the things like how the charity should be. Whenever there is a charity, we should feel that we will be the gainer than the person who receives. The one who gives something to others. So now when I'm teaching also, people like, maybe you all know this, I know, but when I'm teaching something to you, I should not feel that I'm giving something to you. Because I'm teaching to you, I have gained a lot. See, I'll be the one who is going to receive a lot. By giving, they say, no, making danas is to get rid of the papa karmas. That is also there. There are so many such danas and all, Navagruha danas everywhere. So it's like to reduce our own sins. So we will be in the will be the beneficiaries. So we have to think in that way, and the dana should be given in that way. And then, atha yadite dharma vichikitsa va vritti vichikitsa syat. So vichikitsa is jijnasa, something like to know, jnatum ichha jijnasa. Suppose in your field of in your profession, if you have any doubts, you can approach me. But at the same time, vritti vichikitsa, dharma vichikitsa, like whenever we have some doubts regarding our profession or in our principles, sometimes we consider something to be our principles. I say that I should be like this, I should be that. But gradually we may come to know that, no, what I'm thinking is creating problem to me. So what should I do? I may have some questions like that. If such questions, both related to your personal as well as professional, if it comes, then you have to, etatra brahmanaha samdashinaha. There are some scholars. Approach them. You need not think that it's only me who, see, the teacher, he is considering other teachers also like himself. He doesn't have any problem with the student approaching other teachers to get the problem solved. Nothing like that. So everything is okay for him. So it is actually the guru, the best guru is like this. He should not feel odd. He should not be uncomfortable when the student approaches other teachers. He says, you are free to go and ask anything. Okay? Sammarshinaha. So, yeah, you can go and approach them. Yukta, ayukta, aluksha, dharma kama. So, like, whatever the possible good things you can get from them, what are the good suggestions you can get them, you can just adopt it. You are free to do that. And then, and also, like they say, you have to follow the steps of some great scholars. Yatha te tatra varteran, like how they behave or act or react in such situations, you can follow the same here. So with that, you can solve your problems. So other scholars, they are speaking, the teacher is speaking about other scholars also. You are free to approach them for anything. And then, aluksha dharma kamaha yathate teshu varteran, yeah, same thing. And then there are some, say, stages where some of the, we may consider some of them to be great persons, and there may be some negatives in them also. So, but even if there are any negatives in some great people, we are not supposed to highlight those things. Because there may be one negative, but there are many positives maybe. We are supposed to look into the positives. Sometimes it happens, like the great personalities. One or two negatives will be there. There is no need to just stick to those negatives and just say that, no, we are not supposed to follow their steps because they have negatives. Whoever commits mistakes in their life, there may be so many reasons behind it. They may have their own reasons to justify their mistakes. It doesn't mean that you are free to commit mistakes. But if some mistakes have already been committed by them, so let us not just highlight those mistakes and neglect the positives in them. So this is also told by the teachers. The teacher says all this thing. And then finally he says, so this is the Upadesha. This is the Adesha. This is an order. This is an order by the teacher. You have to follow this. See, the 12 years of studies in Gurukula. So the student will be totally friendly with the teacher. And he knows each and every steps of the teacher. And also he knows how the teacher is treating him. To the student, the teacher and the wife of the teacher, the guru and guru patni, they are like the parents. But they will not have the same freedom with the parents of like their own parents there. But that distance will be there, but the distance along with the intimacy. And that is also there. That friendship is there. So naturally, the students, all the disciples will consider this to be an adesha, an order, and this itself is an upadesha again. It's a preaching, It's an order, say everything put together. So there is no question, there is no any, like the student, if there are any problems also, they're free to ask the teacher, and also they're free to go anywhere. So there is no need to hide anything. Nowadays, what happens is, like what I'm, like in my field, what I'm seeing that I'm telling, maybe the same thing with you also. Whenever any student has any doubt, if he approaches one teacher who has not taught him, so that his teacher will be angry with him. It happens. Correct? No? It happens in the school or in the colleges. But here the teacher is not so selfish. And so he knows, the student knows everything about the teacher, that he is very honest and he is very, like he's giving a proper suggestion. So even if it is an adesha, it doesn't seem to an adesha to him. He doesn't consider it to be an order, but he he just considers it to be a suggestion or just an advice which he will follow in his life. So in turn, the society will be good. On the whole, if the society is not good, it's very difficult for us to live. So now the healthy society is the goal, because we have the purusharthas. And finally, it is the moksha. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So dharma, we know now. Kama, the desires. Kama is the one which comes in purushartha as well as in arishad. Kama, krodha, lobha, that is the basic thing of kama, is the enemy. But when we are following all these instructions, so naturally the society will be good. If all the students can follow the same instructions by the teacher, and the Gurukula was open to all, in fact. But people are saying that it was only to the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, but that is not the case. In those days, the number of villagers, the same number of Gurukulas were there. And all the students were there there were many students in each Gurukulas. And one more thing, like usually if they are saying that it's only for the Brahmins or the Kshatriyas, the percentage of Brahmins and Kshatriyas is very less. So why they need a Gurukula for each and every village? Because the Gurukula was for everyone, but according to their need, the knowledge was given. So that system was there. So, but these things, this Shishopadesha was given to everyone at the time of convocation. So naturally it results in a very good society. And this good society is beneficial for our own self, because the Chaturveda Purusharthas can be achieved. So the Dharma, Artha, Kama is possible with the help of this good society. So in the path of Dharma, with that framework, the Artha and Kama to be gained. And finally, the Moksha. Moksha is nothing but you just be away from all the worries, everything. You are just free from everything. So getting the freedom, it's like coming out of the jail after the punishment. Okay, so he can go anywhere. That's it. So now this moksha is for the soul. As long we punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatareshayanam. So that continues as long as we have our karmas with us, and that when we are the karmis. But you all know the Bhagavad Gita, the difference between the karmi and the karma yogi, isn't it? So that. Is that time? Okay. So this karma is, you're just doing the karma. When you're doing karma, you just expect that I should get something from this karma. So that means you are connected with the benefits that you're going to gain from the karma. So the results oriented, that is karma. If you're just doing that, you are a karma. But when you are connecting yourself, yoga, connecting, yoga it is, when you are connecting yourself to the like karma, in the sense you are concentrating on the karma, not the results. Then you become a karma yogi. And when you become a karma yogi, see now why we are coming to this world again and again, it's because of the karma bandha. Bandha is there's a bond. So that means, see now, I've just taught something in one college And I expect that, oh, I have taught in this college, so I need to get the remuneration every time I'm thinking about it. So that means I cannot concentrate on something else, but I'll be concentrating on the remuneration which I'm going to get. Means I'm connected to that. I'm not connected to my studies there. So by which it is karma bandha there. But if I just don't, just neglect it, it takes a much effort and practice to totally ignore, because see, just now we told bhutena pramaditavyam. We have to earn. That is there. But it so happens that when you just dedicate yourself in your work, so naturally the other part will just go on according. Because anyway, it's not only the karma which we are doing in this life of us, we are getting all this. It's lives together. As we know, it's like we have that is, what is that? Agami karma. They all know that, no? Yeah. So all those things are connected. So when you just forget it, when you just forget about the returns which you are going to get, karmanyevadhikaraste, ma phaleshu kadachana, never about the fun. And then ma karma phala hetu bhu. And we are not supposed to consider ourselves to be the reason for the karma which we are doing. See, I'm just talking here. Not because, see, just if you people don't come, or if my voice doesn't raise, and if you do, even if I know, if I can't speak anything, will it be possible? See, all these things are together now. That's why I'm able to speak here. So I am not the reason for the karma which I'm doing. There are so many things connected together. So I should not consider myself to be the reason for doing this work which I'm doing. First of all, I should get rid of I. That is karma phala hetu. Fine. I am not doing this karma. I should not sit quietly without doing any karma. So that is ma karma phala hetu pupu ma te sangaha astu akarmani. Let you not be connected with akarma, means not doing anything. So let us do our karmas. That is, but just concentrating on the karma which I'm doing, not on the result. That's why, so now you might have heard many examples like this. A small boy coming from a village without having any work in his village, maybe just escaping from the family because of some problems, coming here and joining one workshop in a garage, doing all the small works in the garage, but ultimately one day he may be the owner of an automobile shop. How is it possible? It is just because of the karma which he was doing. And when you are just concentrating on the karma without thinking about returns, you will be connected with the karma. You will become an expert in the karma. So karma yoga is becoming an expert in any profession or the karma which we are doing. When you do that karma in that sense, when you are not thinking about the results what you are going to get from the karma, so then your karma is not going to be the agami karma. So the agami karma is the one which it's like a luggage which we are purchasing in our tour. Like we are carrying our luggage with us, while coming back it will be 2 or 3 more bags will be there. But those extra bags will not be there when we do the karma, when we will do our work in the karma yoga. But the returns will come. The returns will come surely, today or tomorrow, whenever it is. It has to come. But that karma bandha will not be there. So then it is a moksha. So all these 3 concepts are to be understood. Like if we can, in the beginning stage itself, when we are entering into the society, like when we start with the profession or our family life, if you are equipped with all this knowledge, so then maybe the society will be better. Like how it may be totally different from the way we are, since the arrangement or the system was not that we were exposed to this in our earlier stage. Maybe that was a problem, but at least we can try to have a better society in future. Let us train our children at least, so that the future generation and the world will be better. So hope able to give a bit of justice to what the chapter is given.
Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful point. Yeah, I think both the subject as well as the interpreter of the subject were both excellent. And it made a fantastic combination, right? I mean, of course, the subject itself was so divine, I think. And look at the way the thought processes come about, right? Right, initially they talked about the principles that you need to follow, right? Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, then Pitru Bhava. Because you have to be truthful when you say that I am Matadeva Bhava or Pitru Bhava. You don't say it for the sake of saying it, right? So beautifully structured it has come about, and even about giving back. I think that's the most important part. I don't recall my congregation being giving me that kind of an advice, right? I mean, giving back to the society is so important part. I think doctors have, a little bit of oath part in their, convocation ceremony where, they are expected to follow certain ethical standards and all that. But as far as other professions are concerned, I mean, it is equally so important that, we have the mindset of giving back. And giving back, like she said, it need not be just about monetary things. It could be everything, even knowledge, even talking techniques. I mean, it is applicable for our day-to-day life. And, I mean, helping a colleague is also, giving back, for example, I'm saying. So there are so many different forms of giving back that we are not even aware. And I think we are selfishly going behind, how do I make more for myself? Why? Because we are lacking this kind of an advice. Right? It is such a beautiful concept. I mean, this is typically the kind of advice that has to be given to everyone, probably at every stage, not just during the end of the studies. Right? I totally enjoyed the subject as well as the lecture. I think thank you so much for taking the time and beautifully conveying that to everyone over here. I'm sure everyone would have thoroughly enjoyed. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
Do we have any questions? I mean, let's open it up for some interesting conversation if anyone wants to bring up a question there.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Chandra.
Yes.
So Varnashram encourages the age to follow the pyramids. How now in this modern civilization is the world how it is?
Right now, actually, so to be very frank here, we have just changed it politically. So it goes on according to the vote bank. But if you can just delete that column of the caste in the thing, then everything will go on properly.
True, very true.
Isn't it? Like, so they want the reservation, they want the vote. Accordingly, they have, so you see, they are saying that there should not be varnas, that is, jatis and all. Then why should they have that column in the application forms? In each and every application form they have, no? Except from the private sectors, the rest everywhere.
But I think the basic principles also remain the same. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of political ecosystem we live in. The concept of the varna as well as ashrama, it is nitya satya. Meaning, any society requires a knowledge provider, requires a protector, requires economy to sustain, and requires the actual doers as well. So there is no going back on that aspect. It is only the way we see it. I think someone very famously quoted that we software engineers are nothing but coolies or shudras, because we just do what is expected to be done. I mean, it's a very crude way of saying it, but it is a truth.
But actually, it need not be that way, like what they are telling. Maybe I don't know how they have made it. Whenever you are using your mind to get the work done, it is a Brahmana. When you are using your body, it is Kshatriya. Then when you are going for this financial thing, see, every country has this. See, we call it as a, like, if I'm taking an example of the education institution, we have the principal, we have the office clerk, we have the lecturers, we have the attenders. See, this system is there. Those days, the name given to this system was Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudra, because every country has a military, every country has administration, every country has a business, every country has a working class. So same thing we have named, because ours is a civilized country or the culture long back. Then we had named it in that way. So we have named it in a different way right now. That's it. It exists even today. It will continue further.
I have heard that all these scriptures are to be studied only by Brahmins. So does this mean that others are not excited or they are not supposed to learn the scriptures or go ahead and do
Namita was just rephrase that, otherwise others will not be able to hear. So, Namita was saying that one of the students, Lochan, also had the question that it is always told that these scriptures are to be studied by Brahmins. So, what about others? And that's the essence of the question. So,
not at all. Jnana Sarvesham Adhikaraha. This is the basic principle. Everyone can get, but the only thing is our knowledge is an open secret. You have to gain it on your own. Everyone has a soul. You have to develop the soul to the extent that they can gain the knowledge. See, now Jabana, we don't know the caste phase. Vedavyasa, we don't know the proper caste. Valmiki, either. See, it's all nothing because, see, you cannot stop anyone from learning, even today. Anyone can be anything. Even then, it was not, as I told in the Gurukula system in the long back, it was open to all. But after basic education, like how we have after 10th standard, you can go to any other streams. In the same way, then, according to them, because everyone has their own interest and taste, their own capacities within them, they can go according to their wish. That's it. It's open to all. In fact, but see, there are so many problems created in our own society because of so many reasons. I would not like to highlight all those things now, because of which we have been told or made to believe that to create that gap between the, or it is just to create a problem in the society. So these things have been done. But to be very frank, if you can just go to the Upanishad period, which is Upanishad is a period from where so the rituals changed to be spiritual. From rituals, they came to the spiritual matters. So there we can find number of such people in the different castes coming up. Even Vishwamitra was not at all a Brahmana. See, because of his own efforts, he became a Brahmajna. So Brahma will not stop anyone from gaining the knowledge. It's left to you. So anybody can gain the knowledge. Yes. Yes.
Whatever we are learning, it should be in the reference. Vidya should be in some reference we should speak. You said that.
Whenever we are.
Okay. So when we are learning the teachers, and we don't question the teachers that from where you are referring us this, because we accept the knowledge from
what the teachers say. Okay. So usually what happens is the reference is needed only when you have the doubts. For example, we can see the life of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or Ramana Maharshi. They did not go through any studies. But whatever they told were in all the scriptures. Ramana Maharshi used to, after gaining that jnana, he used to listen to all the scriptures. He made the other people to tell about the scriptures, read the scriptures and all, just to confirm that whatever he said was correct. And he came to know that it is 100% correct. So usually whenever we have any doubts, then you can ask the teachers, the very good teachers, the teachers in those days. They always told the things which were perfect because they were referring the Vedas. Vedas were the knowledge given by the God. It is apaurusheya. It is not from any human being. So there was no question of such any doubts during those times. Even if they had, so now this Upanishad is the one where the students were having complete freedom to raise any questions. There is one particular Upanishad known as Prashna Upanishad, where the teacher is sitting and the 6 students are around. They were asking continuously the questions with the teacher. They are free to ask. So, yeah, I hope you have got the answer. Yes. Yes.
I think. Go. Come forward. What is the first people on the Upanishad?
Yes.
So what are the green is because of my karma, or is it written that you have to do?
What is the people? What is happening now?
Yeah. See, at a certain point, you can think that you should put all your efforts to do whatever you're doing. You just can't be idle. Like,
No. I mean, can we get this question also? Is it karma, or is it written that I should get this question?
It's a very good question. See, I can answer this as yes, because I'll give you one reference here. Hope you'll understand that. See, now when Rama was on exile, Sita was taken by Ravana, and they were in search of Sita. So when they went, they were on the way, right? So when they met that Kabanda, he told that, so that Shabari is waiting for you there. You please go there. And when he went to Shabari there, and Shabari spoke in such a way that you go there, you will meet Sugriva in Rishishanga, Parvata. Say, don't you feel that everything has been planned before? It just goes on. But we should not just think that everything will go on, so I'll just sit without doing anything. That should not be the case. But see, whenever we plan something, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it does not happen. When it happens, means what we are thinking and what the destiny has planned, they are talent. There is a yoga in that. That's why we call it as yoga as luck also. We do call it. Auriga yoga is there.
I think it's there in Panchanga as well. There's a particular place.
Yoga Karana. Panchanga.
It's basically a kind of between the time of the day and what you stand to gain out of it. Yeah. So yoga is referred in that sense also.
You coming here is also yoga, in fact. Whatever happens is a yoga only. But there is one shloka, Subhashita. See, now for the youngsters, when you say till the age of 50, it's our duty to put all our efforts without thinking about the yoga. After that, it is yoga. So there is a Subhashita which says, Udyoginam Purusha Simham Upaiti Lakshmi. Daivena Deyamiti Kapurushaha Vadanti. Daivam Nihatya Kuru Paurusha Atma Shaktya Yatne Krame Yadina Satyate Kotra Dosha. So this is the Subhashita. You understood this? Udyoginam Purusha Simham. So the Purusha Simha, the great person who is involved in his work. So Lakshmi, the wealth, it need not mean only the wealth in the money, any wealth. Knowledge is also wealth, good relationship is also wealth. So it comes to them. Daivena Deyamiti Kapurusha, the cowards will say that the God will give everything to us. Daivam Nihatya Kuru. Nihatya in the sense, just keep it aside for a while. Not that you just completely forget God. God is there always with us. But give more importance to your Paurusha. Daivam Nihatya Kuru Paurusham Atma Shaktiya. Believe in yourself and then put your efforts. Even after doing that, if it doesn't work, if you don't get the desired result, then whose mistake is that? It's not our mistake. Okay? Yes.
Jai Baba.
No. Here it is not told that you don't believe in God. God is always with the energy He has given to us, bestowed on us. Let us work hard because we need to make use of this life as a human being, which is very rare to get, to achieve the ultimate goal. Bring the result to God.
when you're looking, if you need to derive a passion, you should be confident and assertive about the abilities that you have already gained. So in
That's
that
my
sense, I
God.
think you should use it. So see, in fact, Patanjali, when he talks about the Dasmita, it is both Klesha as well as what do you say, Sadhaka. It's going to help you as well. There are certain aspects which are dual in nature. So when you're doing your karma, you better do it like there is no tomorrow. When you don't leave anything to God, you have to do the best there.
Yes.
God will give you the result. That's another part of the story. Of
Karma
course, you have to be
yoga.
happy. Yeah.
Karma yoga is needed. Karma, when you're doing karma yoga, so you have to believe in it.
I think there are multiple steps that we have to go through. So I think we will have good conversations. Don't worry. He just joined the TDC batch recently.
Really.
But yes, I'm actually curious how to get that question. Wow. Why would I get that question? I mean, is that also destiny? Did you read it somewhere? No, I asked because I have read a book. So there's a beautiful book from Stephen Hawking. You know who is Stephen Hawking? He is one of the very famous physicists, right? And one of his first books was A Brief History of Time. So that's a beautiful book. I mean, I would recommend anyone to read it. I mean, it's he explored the thought process of how the universe might have come into being in simple layman's terms. He's a physicist himself. I mean, proper physics, theoretical physics he is. So in that, as he goes on explaining the principles of physics, he goes on to a point where he says that, so based on all these things that I've told until now, so then basically everything, every movement that is happening in this universe is all governed by one or the other law. So then, I mean, if it is applicable to macro objects, it might actually be applicable to micro objects also. So if it is micro objects, it could be even human beings or even the animals and all. So then is it also controlling my mind? So is it also controlling the question that I'm asking? He asked exactly that. I mean, that's why I was curious, where did you get that question from? It's a very nice question.
Actually, what he said is true.
Yeah.
But at a particular stage, till a particular level of our life, we are not supposed to think
on it. Right. It's a good question.
That's true. But yeah, at this age of his, maybe like.
So don't escape from that. Okay? Because who was that? Who was that Rishi who put that line on his hand? Pani, right? So according to his destiny, he was not supposed to have Vidya Vyasa at all.
Vidya Rekha
itself was missing. So that was his destiny. What he did, he took a knife and he cut his hand and he said, "I have the line of teacher." So I mean, dono taraf se ho sakta hai. Right? So yeah. Okay, very nice question.
Yeah. And thank you by those students.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is.
Anything else? Online folks, mic over to you. अनुज जी, आप कुछ पूछने वाले हैं?
Yeah. I was having one question. So basically, we learned about brahmacharya, okay, right? So in brahmacharya, we learned about students used to learn about Veda and all. Okay. Now in Grihastha also, people learn. So that part brahmacharya can be considered in Grihastha or not?
So basically, the word brahmachari, so it doesn't just mean that the Grihastha. Being a Grihastha doesn't mean that you cannot be a brahmachari, because the very meaning of the word brahmachari is brahmani charati. Anytime you can gain the knowledge. Whichever the stage you are in, you are supposed to gain the knowledge. You are supposed to gain the knowledge. That's why it is given swadhyayatna pramaditavya. Okay.
So then there's a in Grihastha also the brahmacharya part is happening. That's how it is, right?
See, actually, Brahma is jnana.
Brahma is
Brahmani charati, to just go around in the knowledge is brahmacharya.
Okay.
But
so brahmacharya is a
different meaning to that word brahmacharya as just the person who has not got married. But there are different types of brahmacharyas also.
Correct. But what I understand, brahmacharya is one of the stage in a life wherein we will focus only on acquiring the knowledge. Is that so?
Yeah, that's true. At the outset, it is the same, but it can also mean in this way. It also means in this way. Actually, the meaning of the word is the knowledge.
Right.
Gaining knowledge.
Okay.
It can
other queries.
Yes.
Okay. Other question I was having.
Yes.
We spoke about in karma. We don't focus on while pursuing for karma. We don't focus on a result, right? But in actual day-to-day life, when in like in corporate life, we are designed to think on a target, then work on that target, right? So how we can now think on those lines?
Okay, fine. Are you speaking about the money which you are going to get?
Not necessarily. So we are the target.
Yeah. See this. Yeah. Whenever you are doing something, you need to focus on the result, but we have to see to it that it is not based on our selfish motive.
Okay. So
we should not like a selfish in getting focusing on the result. It should be good for the society or the people around or our institution in which we are working. So that should be the goal.
Okay. So the karma should be goal oriented.
Yeah, it can be it should be goal oriented. So the result which you are speaking when you are telling about karma phala, that is the selfish thing which we are thinking about. Like the benefits which are getting. That should not be the case.
That should not be the case. Okay.
Yeah. Then it becomes karma yoga.
Thank you, madam.
Yes. Thank you.
Anything else? If nothing, I think we will wind up the session here. I think we already went beyond. I'm not even watching the time because it was so interesting for me. So yeah. Anyways, thank you very much. Yes, please go ahead, Nihali.
Please arrange one more session by madam. It's beautiful and well explained.
That's the best compliment.
Thank you.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, in fact, I was having that conversation with her. We are planning a series along with her. So covering multiple Upanishads. So we will definitely have more coming from her.
Yeah, even if it's online, I think that will be great in case if she cannot travel all the way.
We're having a debate on that part as well. I was saying it is okay to have online as well, but she is particular about having it like kind of offline because that gives a better sense of pupils' interest and their ability to understand and all that as well, so that she can structure the flow accordingly. So we will see. We will work out one way or the other. We will definitely have her giving more sessions. Yeah, I'm making that statement and I'm sure that she will not let me lie. Satyam Bhava. Krishna Arpanastu. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending, and I will conclude with that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. By the way, small token of appreciation from all of us here. Just a small token of appreciation.